Hey coin collectors, and welcome to DC Coin World International Coin Channel. And there she is right there, Lady Liberty, wearing the Phrygian cap on the front of the Mercury dime. Liberty, it says, around the top. In God We Trust down here. 1942 under her neck, and an AAW there for Adolf A. Weinman, the engraver of this coin. This coin first came out in 1916, and it went till 1945. So by 1942, we were getting near the end of the coin. It's a 90% silver coin. If you're looking for the mint mark, it'll be on the back right down here. This one is a Philadelphia with no mint mark. It says United States of America around the top, one separated by the fasces and the olive branch, in dime on this side, and E pluribus unum up in here. When you're looking at these coins, of course, we're looking for the full band, just like we do on the modern coins. There are 3 bands up here, 2 here, 2 here. There's a knot down here we look for, and then there's this rope that goes around the whole bundle of sticks, which the axe blade sticks out of. At the Philadelphia Mint in 1942, they made $205 million. At a Mint State 65, these are worth $44 with the full bands. At a Mint State 68 plus, $5,750 with the full bands. There's also a 1942 stamped on top of 1941, a kind of double pressing of the date. And when you look for that, you're going to look way down in here. We don't have it on this one, and you can see it mostly in the 2 with the 1 underneath it usually. But we have some that we can show you from PCGS, so let's take a look at those. And when we talk about the 1941 over the 1942, there is no doubt that you can see this one, and this, of course, is the one that sold for $100,000. You see that the 1941 and the 1942 are both on this coin. So there's the 4 and the 1 from 1941, and then there's the back of the 4 and the 2 from 1942. So if you're looking for this coin, it is out there, and it can look this good. You can see this with the naked eye. If you just had this in your hand, you could tell there's something really wrong with that one. But in order to get the 105,000, you have to have all this other stuff too. You have to have the 3 bands at the top. You have to have the 2 bands here. You have to have the rope binding them going down, the 2 bands at the bottom. You have to have this little knot down here. You have to have all of these olives on the olive branch, a beautiful star. This is 105,000. But you might very well be able to find one that's worth between $50 and $500 just in your regular change. So don't go looking for the 105,000 one necessarily. So if you do get that 1942 over 1941 from the Philadelphia Mint, it's probably worth at least $700 at a Mint State 30, $15,000 at a Mint State 65, and the 2 over 1 Philly at a Mint State 68 from 1942, $105,000. There's plenty of them out there below a Mint State though, so look for them in your change. These are 2.5 gram coins with a reeded edge. They also made this coin at 2 other mints. If we flip this over, we can see which mint this one is. And this is the Denver Mint. We see the D down there, right next to the 1, or next to the E in the 1. At the Denver Mint in 1942, they made $61 million. At a Mint State 65, $62. At a Mint State 68 plus, $7,250. You can get the Denver Mint one in a 2 over 1 with a D on the back. That's where all the money is. Let's take a look at the Denver Mint one on the PCGS website. And here's the 1942 over 1 from the Denver Mint. And you'll see this is not nearly as definitive as the Philadelphia Mint, but it's rarer. So when we look at this one up here, you'll see that we can see the other bit of the 4 down there. We can see the 1 kind of coming in there and the 1 there. We see that the middle of the 1 got chopped off a little bit. But if you can get this coin from the Denver Mint in a Mint State 67 full bands, you're talking about $125,000. So even though this one is not as evident to the naked eye, because it's so much rarer, and because collectors want the 42s, it's worth $25,000 or $30,000 more. So the 2/1 Denver from 1942, $125,000, which is just huge amount of money for a dime. But collectors love these 2/1s. At the San Francisco Mint, that was the third mint that made them. They don't have any 2/1s, but at the San Francisco Mint in 1942, they made 49 million dimes. At a Mint State 65, this coin's worth $165. At a Mint State 68 plus, the San Francisco coin is worth $65,000. So we have a San Francisco coin worth $65,000. We have a Denver coin worth $125,000. Philadelphia dime from 1942 that's worth $105,000. In 1942, when they made the dimes, the U.S. was in a war economy. Some of these dimes were minted and used within a week or two of leaving the mint. They went straight to the banks and straight into people's pockets. So they didn't save a lot of them, and there weren't a whole lot of coin rolls saved back in 1942. And remember, in 1945, we had the last of the Mercury Dimes, and we came out in 1946 with the Roosevelt dime. Again, a silver dime, but notice how they tried to mimic just a little bit the back of these dimes. So in the back of the Roosevelt, we had a torch with the oak and olive branch on it, and with the bands, instead of the fasces with the olive branch on the back, but very similar. United States of America on the top, one dime at the bottom. United States of America on the top, one dime at the bottom. When they had John Cynic engrave these coins in 1946, they had him use the reverse of the Mercury dime that Adolf A. Weinman made in 1916 as his model for the reverse. All right, well, that's all we have today from the DC Coin World International Coin Channel. Look for these dimes out there. They're worth a minimum of $2 to $3 just in silver alone, but you can easily get one in mid-range condition that's worth $50 or $60 if you have those bands on the back. Thanks for watching DC Coin World. We'd love to have you subscribe to our channel and leave any comments you have in the comments section.